When we talk about financial scams, we love to talk about the technology, the spoofed numbers, the offshore routing, the AI voices. But the truth is, the technology is just the delivery mechanism. The real weapon is psychology. And the most dangerous scammers don't need to hack your computer. They just need to hack your reality. This isn't a story about a high-tech hacker takedown. This is a story about my mother, a Tuesday morning in May, and a 28-year-old bank teller with a ballpoint pen. It's a story about how close we came to losing everything. It started with the news. If you've turned on a television lately, you know about the 2026 Social Security rule updates. The headlines are everywhere. National database shifts, benefit shakeups. It's confusing for financial planners, let alone a 74-year-old widow trying to make sure her monthly checks arrive on time. My mother had been watching this coverage all week. She was anxious. The scammers knew she would be. When the caller ID flashed SSA National Routing Center, it didn't seem out of the ordinary. It perfectly matched the vocabulary she had just heard on the morning news. She answered. The man on the other end introduced himself as Agent David Harris. His voice wasn't aggressive or threatening, it was warm. It was bureaucratic. It was exactly what she expected. He told her that due to the 2026 system migration, her Social Security profile had been flagged for an asset discrepancy. He told her that her benefits were scheduled for an automatic freeze at midnight. And then, he did something incredibly insidious. He expressed empathy. He told her, "Ma'am, I know this system update has been a disaster for folks. I'm looking at your file, and I don't want you to lose your benefits over a computer error. Let's fix this together." In the fraud industry, this is called the ether. It's a psychological state where the victim's logic is completely overridden by a cocktail of fear and relief. The fear of losing her livelihood, combined with the relief that this kind man was going to save her. Once you are in the ether, you stop questioning the premise. You just follow the instructions. Agent Harris explained the solution. To protect her funds from the midnight freeze, she needed to temporarily move her savings into a federal protection ledger, a secure government account. But there was a catch, and this is the most critical part of the scam, the isolation protocol. He told her, because this involves a federal audit, this is a restricted line. You cannot hang up. If you break this connection, the system will automatically execute the freeze. He told her she couldn't call me. He told her that if the bank asked why she was withdrawing $28,000, she must say it was for a family emergency. If she told them the truth, the bank would be legally obligated to lock the account. Think about the absolute terror of that car ride. My mother, driving alone, the phone resting on the passenger seat, on speakerphone. Agent Harris staying on the line, filling the silence with bureaucratic reassurances. She was completely isolated. She had been cut off from her support system, cut off from logic, entirely trapped in a reality designed by a criminal, sitting in a boiler room overseas. She was 60 seconds away from wiring her entire life savings to a ghost. She walked into the local branch. She kept the phone in her purse, the line still open, just as Agent Harris instructed. She walked up to the teller window. The teller's name was Sarah. Sarah had helped my mom deposit her checks for the last 4 years. My mother asked to wire $28,000. She was breathing fast. Her hands were visibly shaking as she held her ID. Sarah, the teller, noticed. She asked my mother if everything was all right. My mother recited the script the scammer had given her. It's a family emergency. A medical issue. But Sarah didn't just process the transaction. She looked at my mother. She looked at the purse, where the faint, tinny sound of an open phone line could be heard. Sarah didn't argue. She didn't trigger an alarm. She knew that if she spoke out loud, the man on the phone would hear her and instruct my mother to leave the bank immediately. She took her pen, wrote something down in large block letters, and slid it across the marble counter. My mother looked down at the paper. It read, "Are they telling you not to talk to me?" My mother froze. She looked at the note. Then she looked up at Sarah. Sarah nodded, her eyes full of gentle understanding, and she wrote a second line. "You are safe. Hang up the phone." The spell broke. The ether vanished. In that one moment of human connection, the entire illusion shattered. My mother reached into her purse and ended the call. She sat down in the lobby chair and wept. Not out of fear, but out of absolute, overwhelming relief. The wire transfer was never sent. We blame victims because we think it could never happen to us. But these scams aren't about intelligence, they are about manipulation. The scammers used real news, the 2026 SSA updates, to create a believable crisis. Then they used the isolation protocol to trap my mother in her own panic. If you ever receive a call from someone claiming to be a government agent, a bank official, or even the police, and they tell you that you cannot hang up the phone, that is the single biggest red flag in the fraud industry. Real authority allows you to hang up. Real authority allows you to call them back. Real authority allows you to talk to your family. Only a scammer demands silence. This is safe retirement. We tell these stories because silence is how they win and education is how we fight back. Share this video with the people you love. Tell them about the isolation protocol. Let's make sure that if that phone ever rings, they don't need a bank teller to save them. They can save themselves. Hit subscribe, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.